The sun rises like a molten disk over the wide Mesopotamian plain, and before its first edge clears the horizon, the struggle has already begun. A young woman's skin darkened by years beneath the desert sun, hair tied with reeds, runs barefoot through the tall river grasses. Her breath is tight, her posture low. In her hands she clutches a clay jar wrapped in goatskin. Behind her, 3 villagers sprint as well, each carrying bundles of reeds, tools, or sacks of barley. Their bodies move with urgency, not panic. This is routine, a race against nature itself. A rumble rolls across the land. The Tigris River is swelling. The seasonal flood has arrived early. The village, an ancient cluster of mud brick homes, sits dangerously close to the riverbank. Every year they gamble with the water. Some years it brings fertile silt. Some years, destruction. Today, destruction. The group reaches the edge of the village as families scramble to lift baskets of grain onto rooftops. Children cling to elders. Men form chain lines of clay bricks to reinforce the lowest wall. The young woman places her jar carefully among other jars. Their year's supply of precious grain paste, and grabs a thick wooden lever. Without a word, she wedges it beneath the stone foundation slab of the storage hut. Others join her, muscles straining, faces contorted, as they lift and shift the stone into a safer position. The river's roar grows louder. A wave of muddy water slams against the empty fields behind them, throwing reeds and driftwood into the air. The villagers brace. The water hits. The wall shudders but holds. For now, their survival has only just begun. The storm that fueled the flood has not passed. It moves overhead like a dark god, choking the sky. Rain begins as scattered pokes in the dust, then as sheets of stinging droplets. When lightning cracks across the plain, the oldest woman in the tribe, a healer, with skin like wrinkled parchment, raises her hands toward the sky, measuring the direction of the wind. Her expression tightens. She turns, gestures sharply toward the river's far bank. A new threat. From the reeds, the tops of wooden boats appear livers of curved hulls, paddles dipping rhythmically. A rival settlement, not enemies, but not allies. The flood drives everyone from their homes, pushing resources into chaos. The strangers approach quickly, scanning the weakened wall, the exposed grain, the vulnerable families. A single moment decides all. The village leader, a broad-shouldered man with a scar across his ribs, steps forward with open palms. His tribe gathers behind him. The strangers hesitate. One boat drifts lower in the water, overloaded. They are barely afloat. Then a sudden crack echoes, not thunder. The weakened wall collapses. Water bursts through the gap, slamming into the lower courtyard, where jars float like drifting seeds. Children scream silently, scrambling upward as adults yank them onto rooftops. In seconds, the strangers leap from their boats, pushing them aside as they wade through the rising torrent to help. The two tribes unite without a single spoken word. Mud mixes with sweat as they lock arms, creating a human barricade around the grain stores. Stones shift. Reeds are jammed into cracks. Clay is smoothed with desperate hands to patch the wall. It is brutal, exhausting labor, pure survival instinct. When the waters finally level out, the two groups stand panting, drenched, and trembling. Their eyes meet with wary gratitude. Conflict avoided. For now, night falls heavy, but sleep does not come. The floodwaters recede slowly, leaving layers of mud and the carcasses of fish stranded on the banks. Some villagers gather these quickly, splitting open the bellies with chipped obsidian knives to clean them before they rot. Fires sputter beneath wet wood. The smell of smoke and damp earth thickens the air. Under one tent, the healer attends to an injured boy, his arm gashed by a floating plank. She crushes herbs between stones, mixes them with warm clay, and binds the paste to his wound with woven linen. His mother presses her forehead to his, her shoulders shaking silently. Across the village, the young woman stands watch atop the highest roof. She scans the dark plain, her hand wrapped around a sling made of twisted fiber. Her jar of grain paste sits safely behind her, protected. Lightning flashes, her eyes widen. Movement. Not of storms of beasts. A pack of striped hyenas, drawn by the smell of fish and livestock trapped during the flood, slinks toward the settlement. Their eyes gleam like embers in the darkness. She signals with a sharp wave of her arm. In an instant, the village transforms. Men snatch spears hardened by smoke. Women gather children behind stone ovens. The rival settlers still camped on the outskirts, too displaced to return home with their own weapons. The hyenas circle. The villagers form a tight ring, spears outward. Firelight casts erratic shadows that make the beasts hesitate, but hunger overrides fear. One hyena darts forward, jaws snapping. The scarred leader lunges, driving his spear downward. Another hyena charges from behind, slamming into a man's leg. Bone snaps. He collapses into the mud with a silent scream. Chaos explodes. Hyenas leap between humans, scattering embers and sending children scrambling. Spears jab, knives slash bodies crash into the mud. The young woman swings her sling in a perfect arc, releasing a stone that cracks against a hyena's skull. It collapses, thrashing, but then a twist. A massive male hyena bigger than the rest bursts through the reeds, scattering his own pack. His jaws clamp around the injured man, dragging him toward the darkness. The healer throws herself in front of the path, arms raised. Her small body is no match, but she stands firm. Others rush to her side. The fight becomes a storm within a storm. Mud, teeth, fists, stone, fire. Finally, with a coordinated thrust, the leader and two rival tribesmen drive their spears into the beast's flank. It releases the man, snarling, then collapses with a shudder. The pack scatters. The village survives, but barely. Dawn breaks with quiet gray light. The survivors gather in the central courtyard. The injured man, pale and trembling, lies wrapped in goatskins. The healer cleans his wounds with river herbs and heated clay. His breathing steadies. The rival settlers prepare to leave, their boats patched with reeds and mud. But before they depart, they leave behind woven baskets of fish, rescued grain, and a carved wooden idol, an offering of peace born from shared struggle. The two tribes clasp wrists, not as strangers, but as people who fought the night together. As the boats drift away, the village slowly begins to rebuild. Bricks are molded from river clay and set to dry in the sun. Women relay straw roofs. Children scrape mud from the walkways. Men repair the defensive wall with thicker stones. At midday, smoke rises from new fires. The young woman opens her clay jar and scoops grain paste into a shared bowl. Others add fish, herbs, and wild onions. The smell of the cooking porridge drifts through the warm air. Families gather around the pot, forming a circle, some sitting on woven mats, some on bare earth. The injured man is carried forward, cradled gently beside the fire. Children place small dried reeds at his side, tokens of strength. When the food is done, they eat together. Each spoonful is earned. Each breath is victory. Above them, the sun climbs high, its heat pressing down on the ancient land where humanity's earliest cities rise from mud and sweat. On this day, the people of the river have survived flood, hunger, beasts, and fear. And tomorrow, they will begin again.